It's me, GojiraBoy. And for the last few days, it has finally happened. I finally passed my first YouTube subscription goal of 100 by the beginning of June. And continuing to this day, it has been slowly growing. So thank you guys so much. And now on the topic of today, I'm finally going to go over my explanation and opinion over my most popular video, and specifically the one that has been drawing all of the said subscribers now. My Godzilla vs. Sonic the Hedgehog video. Now there's going to be a lot that I have to discuss in this video now, so I really hope that you guys pay attention and actually understand the intricacies of this battle in opinion, alright? So, here we go. Monster vs. Godzilla versus movie version of Sonic the Hedgehog battle analysis. Before we start the analysis, there are a couple rules that we really need to discuss. So first off, this is a battle between Monster vs. Godzilla and Sonic the Hedgehog from the Sonic the Hedgehog movies. Okay, so this won't include any other incarnation of Godzilla or any alternative version of Sonic, such as Archie Comics Sonic or Sonic the Hedgehog from the old games or from the modern games, or Sonic Boom Hedgehog if you're aware of that version. And also, this battle is supposed to be a fair bout. So in other words, we won't be including any allies such as Sonic's friends or any titans that Godzilla has a good relation with, such as Mothra, and of course we won't be including any outside abilities and sources and weapons such as the Master Emerald. So in other words, this battle will not include Super/Hyper Sonic. Alright? We really need to clarify that so that all of you biased Sonic and Godzilla fans understand this is supposed to be fair, not biased or one-sided. Alright, we can't go around assuming that Godzilla or Sonic might win just because Sonic is fast. Godzilla can incinerate Sonic with just one blast. It's more complicated than that. This is analysis video, not some biased bullshit. Strength. Now, when it comes to both Godzilla and Sonic, they're one of, if not the, strongest beings in their respective universes so far. Now, in the video short, I gave the strength category to Godzilla. So, before I explain why the big G is stronger than the blue blur, I'll go over the feats of strength that we see of Sonic so far. Some of Sonic's feats of strength include catching an adult man effortlessly, carrying around Tails with no visible struggle, catching and redirecting arm-sized missiles, redirecting a notably large missile back at Eggman, cause visible damage to Eggman's smaller robots, and assist Knuckles with lifting a pillar that was too large for him to lift by himself. So in other words, Sonic is somewhere between peak human levels of strength and low superhuman levels of strength. Now onto the Monster King. Godzilla is capable of smashing through man-made structures like there's nothing there to begin with, creates tsunamis just by walking out of the water, and manhandle creatures that range between 20,000 and over 100,000 tons. He's able to overpower most titans with little to no effort. His only competitors thus far include Muto Prime, King Ghidorah, Tiamat, King Kong, and Mechagodzilla. Now, although Kong's weight in the Monsterverse as an adult isn't acknowledged, but either way, Godzilla vs. Kong shows that Godzilla is capable of overpowering him with some non-strength caused struggle, going as far as to throwing him with just his jaws. And as we can see in Godzilla Dominion, Godzilla eventually defeats Tiamat once he's able to fully utilize his strength. As for his male doppelganger, it is implied to the director of Godzilla vs. Kong that had Godzilla not fight King Kong already, he would have destroyed Mechagodzilla somehow. And of course, we can see in Godzilla King of the Monsters that Godzilla can manhandle and push around the 141,056 ton King Ghidorah in a fair fight. But it is implied that even at his weakest, Godzilla is stronger than what can be believed. In Godzilla Aftershock, he was capable of getting Muto Prime off of him with the swipe of his claws, and later on, he lifted the 135,000-ton parasite onto his back. And this is just him after getting exhausted nearly to death. And of course, his tail and feet are capable of causing severe damage or pushback to even his toughest enemies. So you get the idea. Godzilla beats Sonic in terms of strength. Speed. Now this one is kind of obligatory. Sonic got this category without much thought needed. Now before we go over Sonic's speed, let's look at how Godzilla is fast for someone of his size. In Godzilla King of the Monsters and Godzilla vs. Kong, we've seen him run up to speeds in the low hundreds of miles per hour. In Godzilla 2014, he's shown to be able to block missiles that were launched by military vessels barely a few hundred meters away or so. He's kept up with creatures faster than himself, such as Kong and Scylla. He killed Hokuto with just the right timing. He's knocked jets out of the sky with his tail in Godzilla vs. Kong. But his real speed comes from his natural habitat, the water. My research says that he can swim up to speeds up to 60 knots per hour, but it is implied that he can swim way faster than that. In Godzilla King of the Monsters, he was able to swim fast enough to get his body hundreds of feet above the water's surface with enough momentum to knock Ghidorah out of the sky. And also, he's able to travel across the world through hollow earth tunnels within a short period of time. One such feat includes how he travels from somewhere in Bermuda to Boston, Massachusetts, seemingly within an hour or so. But now that we got the general picture of Godzilla's speed, let's go through Sonic's as fast as possible. He can travel so quickly, it's implied that he can travel to speeds somewhere between supersonic and the speed of light, given that his Quicksilver moments imply that light itself is still faster than him and that simple actions are still visible. He can run on water, he can run up man-made structures, and also his speed causes him to emit enough energy to cause a blackout. And later on, he created a relatively small tornado. So you get the idea. Sonic outruns Godzilla whenever they're not in the body of liquid. And his speeds are enough to dodge most attacks from his reptilian enemy. Durability. Now this category went to Godzilla for reasons similar to strength. Sonic's feats of durability are on level with his strength. He can take hits from Knuckles, who is visibly stronger than him. At one point in the first movie, Sonic took a point-blank explosion from a robot the size of a thumb. The explosion left no visible injuries, but it did knock him out, requiring smelling salts to wake him up. Godzilla, on the other hand, puts Sonic's feet down into the layers of the earth. Conventional weapons do no damage against him, even when fired at his weaker spots. Nuclear weapons never succeed at harming him, instead making him stronger. Most attacks from other Titans don't do much against him. For instance, in Kingdom Kong, Kong punched another Titan with enough force to have either knocked him unconscious or flat out kill him. Whenever Kong punched Godzilla during their ocean battle, it left him barely stunned for mere seconds. In his battles with the likes of Ghidorah, Mechagodzilla, and Muto Prime, Godzilla endured constant attacks from them, and all of them are on par with him in terms of strength. And throughout the Monsterverse, he's endured every unfair battle that he was in with just enough strength to fight back or even finish off his enemies and return home victorious. Of course, he nearly died from the oxygen destroyer, but that was a matter of physiology rather than durability. And also, other Titans have pierced his skin before or left him screaming in pain, but even then, he's been able to endure this long enough to come out on top. So you understand the big idea. Godzilla can endure Sonic's attacks with little to no trouble, whereas Sonic better avoid his attacks if he's to survive. Overall intelligence. Now this is a super sensitive topic, so I'll try to be as clear and logical with this one as possible. Sonic won this one, but it comes with some serious opposition from Godzilla. Godzilla is one of the smartest Titans in the Monsterverse, with Titanus, Nakika, Behemoth, and the other Alpha Titans being his only intellectual competitors. It is evidenced throughout the Monsterverse that he poses a moral compass on par with Mothra in terms of goodness. indicating high levels of intelligence that most creatures, or even people, lack. And when compared to other incarnations, his intelligence is rather notably high. He's capable of picking up on battle tactics and strategies over the course of his life at notably fast rates. Throughout his battles, we see him analyzing his enemies' attack patterns and combat tactics with enough efficiency to counter them with his own after given enough intel. And from my research, it is implied that this Godzilla is somewhat of an intellectual gentle giant as indicated by his behavior towards humans. And to add on to his moral compass, Godzilla is aware of some moral concepts such as mercy, given that some of his enemies are spared. And apparently, Godzilla is so smart, he's capable of determining who is an ally, an enemy, or somewhere in between. He's gone as far as to save certain individuals, such as Forge Brody in Godzilla 2014, Madison Russell in Godzilla King of the Monsters, and Kong in Godzilla vs. Kong at one point. But Sonic wins this category due to being an anthropomorphic hedgehog. Simple as that. Battle intelligence / skill. Everything that I just went over in intelligence kind of summarizes how Godzilla beats Sonic in terms of battle intelligence. But since this category combines battle / combat intelligence with battle / combat skill, I should also explain why Godzilla outdoes him in skill as well. Now, Sonic is no pushover. He naturally has some combat prowess, given how he stood his ground against Knuckles, despite not being trained at all. And of course, most of Eggman's machines don't give him any trouble. But unfortunately for our favorite rodent, the Alpha Titan surpasses him here. We've already gone over his strength and intelligence, so you might have some idea of his combat skill. But it doesn't end there. Godzilla's combat prowess is only rivaled by Ghidorah, Godzilla, and Muto Prime, and is generally superior to most other Titans. But even then, it's implied that he can defeat even his most powerful enemies under certain conditions. For Ghidorah, Godzilla can give him trouble in land-based battles and can completely overpower him in aquatic ones. Also, it's implied that he has defeated Ghidorah before many times, given their long history and the events that occurred in Godzilla King of the Monsters. For Muto Prime, he stood his ground against her near his weakest, but he's become far more powerful since then, so more than likely, things would be different if he fought Muto Prime post-GVK. And for Mechagodzilla, I've already explained how things would have been different in GVK had Godzilla not fight Kong. So that's it. Godzilla outdoes Sonic in battle intelligence and skill. Battle experience. Little to no explanation needed here. Sonic's only battles include the events of the movies. On the other hand, Godzilla is over 250 million years old and has been in countless battles, more so than any Titan that we've seen thus far. And given his intelligence and skill, he makes efficient use of said experience. Abilities. Now this is undoubtedly the most sensitive topic that can be brought up. Both Godzilla and Sonic, regardless of incarnation, have had an intense arsenal of abilities over the course of 7 and 3 decades respectively. But this video and the short are for the MonsterVerse incarnation of Godzilla created by Legendary Pictures and the live-action film incarnation of Sonic created by Paramount Pictures. So the amount of abilities that these guys possess will hopefully be limited enough to minimize any toxic comments or complaints. So between the two, I gave the abilities category to Godzilla. Now Sonic himself isn't without an armory of abilities, but unfortunately for him, most of his abilities are just him weaponizing his body and speed. Outside of that, all Sonic can do is manipulate his chaos energy to a small degree. So far, all we see of Sonic doing this is emitting electricity with enough energy to power Eggman's contraptions to his satisfaction. Besides that, this energy can enhance Sonic's physique enough for him to truly pose a threat to most of Eggman's robots and to stand up to the likes of Knuckles. Sadly, that's where Sonic's abilities end. As for Godzilla, the pictures that you see here and the links in the description provide intel on Godzilla's terrifying arsenal of abilities. But for the sake of this video, I'll go into detail for the ones that Godzilla would use in this particular fight. So first off, Godzilla possesses a set of overpowered heightened senses that will allow him to always know where Sonic is. Besides the obvious sense of smell and sight that you would expect from a reptile anatomically similar to a carnivorous dinosaur, Godzilla possesses thermal vision and omniscience to a biosphere level. Next off, Godzilla is capable of absorbing energy, which can allow him to stay in ideal condition or make him stronger. So if possible, Sonic could accidentally charge up Godzilla with his chaos energy. Besides his senses, Godzilla is also the only one between the two that actually has weapons. Whereas Sonic has only his fists and his quills as weapons, Godzilla naturally has teeth, claws, a tail, and over 89 dorsal blades that he can use on Sonic if he incapacitates the rodent somehow. Given what we know about Sonic's durability, any of these can kill Sonic if not avoided. Now, the chances of Godzilla killing Sonic with any of these are extremely low, that is, if the fight is land-based. That's where this next ability comes in. It doesn't take a geek to realize that Godzilla lives in the water. If a body of water got involved in the fight between these two, Godzilla's amphibious nature and OP aquatic abilities would quickly turn the fight into a 30-second long Jaws movie. But given Sonic's speed and the chances of this battle taking place on land rather than water, these melee capabilities won't be useful for a long run in the battle. That's where his most iconic and destructive abilities come into play. Godzilla's atomic breath is what will kill Sonic if collateral damage, lack of oxygen, or critical injuries don't. The atomic breath can destroy man-made structures and critically or severely harm other Titans. The kinetic force of the breath is enough to push back Ghidorah or knock Kong out of the sky during a mid-air jump. The energy output of this beam is equivalent to a particularly large nuclear weapon, though my research and the novelization of Godzilla vs. Kong speculate that it could be even higher than that. And besides the energy output, the atomic breath's heat is about 20,000 degrees Celsius, which is hotter than the surface of the sun. And another important thing to know about the atomic breath outside of its heat and power is its range. In Godzilla Domain and Godzilla vs. Kong, we see that Godzilla's atomic breath can reach atmosphere levels if directed up to the sky. At one point, Godzilla used it to drill all the way down to the hollow earth to draw Kong's attention. And besides that, the kinetic force of the breath was enough to shake Kong's throne room and cause serious structural damage to the place. And now the most important thing about the atomic breath that'll scare both you and Sonic. You see, my research says that the atomic breath is composed of Cherenkov radiation, and it is implied that this radiation itself can move at speeds faster than light depending on what it travels through. You heard that right, faster than light. So when Godzilla fires his atomic breath, Sonic will have to avoid being in the direction that his mouth is pointing towards if he's to live. But thanks to Sonic's running speeds being faster than Godzilla's general movements, he'll somewhat likely be able to avoid getting hit by the atomic breath depending on the environment and obstacles that could be in his way. But unfortunately for Sonic, Godzilla is also capable of firing his atomic energy from his entire body. This ability, the nuclear pulse, has only been used 2 times so far in the Monsterverse. But one of the times occurred when Godzilla went thermonuclear, and the other time occurred when Godzilla's dorsal plates were shattered. So we have a limited idea of what this would look like under normal conditions. But based on what we can speculate from these 2 occasions, Godzilla's nuclear pulse has enough kinetic force to send Mutrapon's 135,000-ton rear far up into the sky, and the pulse itself emits like a fiery shockwave. So if Godzilla were to use his nuclear pulse against Sonic would have to find some serious cover to survive. So in the end, Godzilla's larger and deadlier arsenal of capabilities outdoes Sonic. Godzilla wins here. The outcome. So in the end, the score in the short was 5-2. Based on what we went over, Godzilla's size, strength, durability, combat prowess, battle intelligence, battle experience, and abilities overcome Sonic's speed and anthropomorphic advantages. But considering Sonic's mobility and speed in general, this battle isn't negative or low diff. But given Godzilla's numerous advantages and versatility, this battle also isn't extreme diff or high diff. So with this given intel, this particular battle will be about mid diff. So that's it. Monsterverse Godzilla wins. So like and subscribe, comment down below if you would like to see more explanation videos like this in the future, or if you want to see other content in general, and stay tuned for more versus shorts in the future. So until next time, viewers, sayonara.